Welcome to Where There's a Will, There's a Play. My name's Ian, and today I'm here with a review of Vantage, designed by Jamie Stonemaier and brought to us by Stonemaier Games. Plays 1 to 6 players. Vantage is an open-world, cooperative, roguelike adventure board game where players crash land on a planet and explore over 800 interconnected location cards, and there's also 900 additional discovery cards that you could find during the game. This game is a first-person point of view where you can see only what you can see. You are communicating with partners in a multiplayer game through a radio-style communication where all you can do is talk to each other and tell each other what you see. You can't show each other what you see because you have no visuals of what you can see. You are trying to complete a mission and possibly a destiny, all while trying to mitigate your time, your health, and your morale while expanding your personal tableau. The end game goal varies depending on the mission you choose, or you can simply roam around and discover and survive as long as the resources you have allow it. We're going to get down to the table for a brief walkthrough. There will be slight spoilers in this, as I do have to have a location card to show you some of the stuff. So if you want to skip past that, I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm going to show you a character, and I'm going to show you a location card and the like your ship and stuff. But that is it. I'm not going to show too many other things. So if you want to skip this, you may skip past this next section. All right, so we're at the table and we're set up. So you set up your challenge dice pool with 8 dice plus 2 per player. So I'm set up for a solo game. You can set up your level of your time, your morale, and your health. I'm at level 4. This is the Book of Vantages on the back of that. After you eject out of your ship that is going down, you are going to go to this location and you're going to get some resources. I'm the green character, so I have 1 green resource to start, and then you're going to roll some dice to figure out where you're going to go next, or what other things you're going to have. You're going to get your mission and stuff. You're going to get some other skills and some different skill tokens here on this number 1 place as well, and eventually you are going to land in a location. This is a location. This was picked randomly out of the box. So on this location card, you can see there are 6 different things you can do. Each one is representative of one of these 6 different skill types. Those 6 skill types are the overpower, the move, and depart, which are both move. Depart is a special move. The yellow take, the green help, the purple look strategy or storybook, and the orange engage option. So those are your different things that you might be able to do. So if you're the first player, you're going to end up with 6 tokens as you to start the game. Everybody else will start with 4. In a solo game, you will start off with 6. Your character also has some things that you can do as you are playing. You are going to be going to different locations. As you go to these locations, you are going to choose one action to do on this location. So let's say I see this location, gives me a little story about it. I see my departure things. Some of them are just a plain old departure to another location, and that is not zooming in very well. That is a little blurry. Some of them have these stars. If you go in these stars, you are going to get the blue depart book, and you're going to go to this location number, and you are going to see what it is. Whenever you do one of these actions, you are going to roll the challenge dice. So if I wanted to do, let's say, the enter. I want to enter this building. I would grab the blue move storybook, and I would go to location 115, and I would see what it says. It's going to tell me I need to roll a certain number of challenge dice. Oops. So I'm going to roll a certain number of challenge dice. Now those challenge dice, these are good because those are basically blank. This one is going to take some health, but I do have one spot here that has a lightning bolt that says I can use anything for health. This one I would have to be, if I put something on there, it has to be specific. It has to be a green action. So I could put that there so I didn't lose anything, and I would be able to read this in the storybook what I accomplished by doing that. Every location, you can only do one action though. Then you must leave it. Like I said, if you are just going to a location that is numbered, like this one is here, you just roll a basic challenge dice to see, how you did when you moved it. These other locations that are stars, you grab the move book, and you are going to roll however many dice it tells you to. So as you're going through, like I said, you're going to explore, you're going to interact with different things, the environment, and other things that you might come across within this world. You're going to do some searching. You might be able to recover some of your health or your time or your morale, depending on what you do. And then you're going to apply different consequences. So if I were to roll this health and I couldn't put it anywhere, my health would go down. So the dice rolls is a big part of how these things are going to move on here. Once you get down to 0, you're going to go into the take storybook and grab and look at whatever mission card you have and see what it says to do. The round ends when all players are out of time tokens. So, or when someone reaches this with one of those, then you go into that take storybook. The game ends in a couple different ways. If you've completed your mission, you can say, I've done a mission, I've completed my mission, I've done a mission victory. You could do if you complete your mission in Destiny, you get an epic victory. Or you could just say, we're going to play for another 35 minutes and be done. You might finish your mission pretty early and you're like, I want to explore for a while, let's play around for a while and see what we do. And then let's go, you know what, we're going to play for another 35 minutes and then be done. All of those things are perfectly acceptable. All right, let's go back up. Big for some of the wins in this game. First of all, this game does give you a true open world feel. You are exploring this planet. You are interacting with this planet and doing different things in this planet. And it really does feel like you are on this planet and that you are really exploring it. Sometimes you might just be exploring it. Sometimes you're really getting close to your mission or your destiny. Sometimes you are on a path and you're like, oh, I really want to do this. This sounds interesting. I need to keep going this way. So that is a big win that Jamie was able to really give you this experience of exploring this world in a board game. And it's just a great thing to be able to do. You might just explore for a while and be like, oh, that was pretty cool. That was interesting, some things I found. I like the fact that there's a no fail action, just consequences. So you are going to succeed at every action. So like when I showed this card, if I wanted to assist or if I wanted to enter, I'm going to succeed, I'm going to enter, or I'm going to be able to assist whatever I'm assisting. But there's going to be consequences based on your dice rolls. So you're always going to succeed in what action you're going to do, so that doesn't make you feel like, oh, I don't want to do this because I might fail. But you are always going to succeed, but there might be consequences based on your dice rolls. One thing I failed to mention was these little tokens help you kind of mitigate how many dice you're going to roll. So if I was going to do the green assist and I turned this in and said I needed to roll 2 dice, I could turn this in and I'd only have to roll 1. The cool thing about this is that when you're playing multiplayer, that other people can say, well, I have some of those. Oh, you got to roll 6 of those? Here, I'll give you 2 of mine. Someone may give you 1, you have 1. Now you only have to roll 2 dice. So your chances of losing a lot of your tokens or your time, your health, and your morale would be mitigated there. So that's really nice. I like the no fail action where you are going to succeed at what you do, just how well you do it. I've had some really good rolls. I've had some really bad rolls. This game has a huge amount of replayability. You are going to crash land in different spots. You are going to explore different spots. You are going to take different actions in locations you've already taken in previous games. Not in the same game. Like I said, you can only do 1 action per location in a single game, unless it's a special location that tells you can keep on going, or something in one of the books says that you continue, then you do another action. There's a ton of content. Like I said, there's 800 locations and 900 other cards. You are going to have to play a lot in order to see all that. So the replayability is amazing. The component quality is great. I did get the upgraded tokens because I just like a nice, wooden token for all the tokens. So I did get those. I did get the player mats. These are not required, but I really like the tableaus there. And it's just, it helps keep things kind of neat and tidy. The dice are really good. I love this colored dice here, kind of this ivory dice with the different symbols on it, and then the black dice with the nice white ones. So the components in this game are phenomenal. The replayability is going to be pretty endless depending on what you're looking for in this game. The rules overall are pretty straightforward as long as you don't miss stuff. And I'll tell you that because I missed some stuff on the first time I played, and I actually was pretty frustrated, but we'll talk about that more in the end. So as long as you are paying attention to the rules, like I said, the rules I think are going to be pretty good, pretty easy to go by. Like I said, with the 800 different locations, there is a huge amount of narrative depth in this game. The artwork is phenomenal. There were 3 artists that took part in creating this world. Sometimes, and I think Jamie has said that just when they needed, whoever was free, they just kind of did stuff, and maybe they added stuff to places, or they just kind of were building this world together. So I think that's a really cool idea. The artists were Valentina Flick, Soren Meding, Emilian Rodeval. I probably butchered those names, but yeah, so Valentina, Soren, and Emilian. It is, the artwork and the stuff I've seen so far is just absolutely breathtaking. Even though there are a ton of cards, there is absolutely zero shuffling. You never are going to shuffle any cards, so this game sets up very fast. All you're going to do is you're going to grab your player card, you're going to grab the locations as you are rolling dice to do things, and that's it. And then you have little cards that will mark your location, so it's easier to put it back. And then you're grabbing just cards out of a thing, just making sure that you're putting them back in numerical order. They're numbered for ease of finding, what you're going to do in the storybooks, as well as putting them back where they need to go. The solo play in this is really great. Now, most times when I am talking to you solo about a review, it is a game I've played only solo. This one is the exception because of the fact that you are, even in real, even if you're sitting around a table with people, you are only communicating like you're talking over radio. This game works phenomenally over like Zoom or Discord or whatever you can use. You could even just do it over the phone and talking with people, because that is all the communication you have anyway. So I've actually played this at a 3-player game over Discord, and I have several other games kind of planned for the future over Discord with some other content creators and some other friends. So I'm very excited to play this more with people like that, because it really kind of gives you that feel like, oh, look, we really are in different locations just like you are in the planet. So I think that really brings kind of this game to, I don't know how to say it. Like, it really brings it like almost, it makes it more real, because you are not sitting at the table. You are in different locations, just like you are in the planet. The missions, I think, are really good as long as you can get to them. So, so all in all, lots of wins in this game. Now, there are some weaknesses. I will say one of the biggest weaknesses, for some people, it was for me in one of my games, is you can feel like you have been playing for a long time and you didn't really do anything. I've had games where I've had epic victories, I've had mission victories, and I felt like I was really going somewhere. I did have a game where I played for several hours. I didn't even get close to what my mission was supposed to be. I have no idea where I was even supposed to be to complete the mission, or I didn't even have the stuff to complete it. So it can feel frustrating, but you need to go into the game knowing that you may not get anywhere near a mission. And if you're fine with that and you want to explore, then that is another thing you can do. You can just explore. But you have to realize that you might end up not feeling like you accomplished anything other than exploring the planet because you didn't even start your mission. So that is something that I do believe is just a slight weakness that you do have to kind of have that mindset as you're going in. Like, you're going to get a mission and you may get nowhere near that mission. You might feel like, oh, I completely failed. Like, I didn't even get a mission victory. I didn't get a epic victory. I didn't win. All I did was walk around for several hours. Which, depending on how interesting that story you were telling as you were doing it, that could be a weakness to you. I've only played this at solo in 3. I think if you get above 3, 4 players, I think there's going to be a lot of downtime because each person has to roll dice as you're doing stuff. Someone else has to be looking it up in the books, in the storybooks, to tell them what they're doing. So there's going to be a lot of downtime as the more players you get playing this game. Which brings me to these books. These books are great. I think this is a really cool way of doing this. There's lots of books. There is an app that you can get called Rule Pop that does have all this in there, and you can see the stuff in there. But it is a lot. Like, you have to go through a lot of books. Like, oh, purple book. Okay, I got to grab the purple book. Then you got to find the number. And for me, I think it is a little more immersive like this. But the print in here is a little hard for me to read. Even with my glasses on, it's been a little tough because they had to fit so much stuff into each of these that I have to be at the right angle to be able to read them. So just have that in mind, that it is a lot of reading. The Rule Pop app does help, and I will probably use that on and off. Also, like I said, the print in here at the angles I'm trying to read, where I'm trying to play, it's been a bit tough for me to read. So I'm just going to, that's kind of a little bit of a weakness. There is no traditional strategy to this game because this game is about exploring. And so if you're going into a game where you're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to have a strategy, I'm going to be able to build this strategy and do this and that to optimize my game the best, that's not going to have this. That's not going to happen with this. Okay, this game is more about wandering around and discovering, which I think is a positive, the wandering around and discovering, but I think some people might find this as a weakness, as there is no strategy to this game. It is, especially since you have one action per card, that could be a weakness for some people. I talked about the books and the physical upkeep and the heaviness and lots of cards to be putting back at the end of the game, the books going through them. So that can feel a little tedious to some people. Like I said, I told you my experience with the books and stuff, and just putting the cards back at the end of the game. I have seen some people that have cut up some note cards and put them in the cards, not the location cards, but the other cards that you have, so that they can easily put their stuff back. I think that's a great idea. I'm gonna probably grab some note cards from school. This game isn't going to be for everyone, but no games are. So I think that's... the other big thing, because I have played this multiplayer, is there really is limited player interaction. The only player interaction is grabbing a book and reading it for the most part. Now, I have gotten to some spots, I don't want to spoil anything, I have gotten to some things where you can communicate with each other to try and do things. That's all I'm going to say about it. So there is some, but those are random spots. I've only gotten to a couple of those, even in multiplayer or even in solo. I've only gotten to a couple of spots where I think I might have been able to communicate with others and do it. And there is a lot of content. It is a lot of stuff. So some people might get a little overwhelmed by all of the stuff that they need to be doing, looking in which books. I know one of the big confusions has been the fact that there's 2 blue books. This one is only when you're departing a location, when it has a star on it, or an asterisk. This one is when you're doing a move location on the boards. Now that I look at them, and I did have the same confusion. I was grabbing the move book. now that I look at them, you really shouldn't, because this has the move symbol on them, whereas this has the compass rose on it with the symbol. So just keep an eye on those symbols. All right. Let's get down to my final thoughts on this game. The first time I played this game, I was so frustrated. I knew this was going to be a good game for me, but I missed some very key things in the rules. I had the game set up. I didn't play it for a couple days because things got really busy, and then I just kind of glanced over the rules again, and I missed a lot of very key things. I was asking so many questions on the Facebook page or on the Discord, and I was very frustrated because I didn't feel like I was doing anything. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I watched a video. I realized the things I was missing. I went back, had an epic 3-hour epic victory. I got a mission victory midway through. I wanted to keep on exploring because I knew I could get that destiny. I knew I could get that epic victory. I ended up losing my life, but I did give myself one chance. I wasn't going to give myself more than one. I gave myself one reroll where I could get some of my stats back, and I ended up getting the epic victory, and then I ended up going back down to 0. I'm like, nope, I'm good with that. I got an epic victory. And now I've played it several other times solo. I've played a 3-player game on over Discord, and I absolutely love this. Like I said, I did have another game though where I didn't even know what I was doing for the mission, so that one was a little bit frustrating. But I had a good time exploring and kind of telling the story. So you're going to have a little bit of each as you're playing. This game is like nothing. I've said this a lot lately, but I think it's true with a lot of games we've been getting to the table lately. This is like nothing, not only that I've never played, that I've never seen before. I'm only about, like I said, we've said before, we're only about 5 years really big into the hobby, and this is like nothing I've ever seen before. This game is amazing, and the fact that Jamie was able to put this into this board game and all this like exploration and like feeling like you're on this planet and the things that you're going to find and different things you're going to do, I absolutely love this game. It is just set up on my desk in our den. Now I'm getting to the busiest time of my school year at the beginning of the year as volleyball season also starts. I was hoping maybe to get some games in after school to start. I'm going to play on the weekends. This is probably going to sit on my table, on my desk in my den for a while before I put it up on the shelf so that I can get it to the table on the weekends, hopefully once on the weekend, maybe get some games over Discord. So for me, even after the first initial frustration, I knew this game was going to be good for me and it was going to be something, even though I do not like playing games that are really long. The thing with this game is because you're telling this story and you're exploring and you're doing all of this stuff, it doesn't feel like, I've had most of my games have been 3 hours. They don't feel like they're 3 hours because you are so immersed in what you're doing. Like, oh, I gotta do this, and then you're reading what happened. Okay, this happened. Okay, now what do I want to do next? Where do I want to go? Okay, I remember earlier they said I need to head east, so I'm gonna keep on heading east because I know there's gonna be something there that I need to find, or there's this thing here, or I want to go down in this. There's something in distance. I want to get to that. It really just feels like the old choose your own adventure books. Because as you're doing things, you're really choosing what you want to do. And those books, I'm not a huge reader. Those books were my absolute favorite as a kid. And this really brings that to life to me. So this game is a huge win for me. I absolutely love this. I look forward to playing with friends online. Multiplayer, I look forward to playing solo. So there you have it. There is my thoughts on Vantage. Let me know if you've played Vantage. Drop me a note down in the comments below, or what you think of Vantage. Are you looking forward to playing it? Is it a game that you want to get to the table? I know some of my online friends have just recently got it in, and some of them got it played, and I'm very looking forward to playing with them online because I think it just brings the experience together. Yeah. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you'll be notified when we post new videos. Once again, this has been Where There's a Will, There's a Play. My name's Ian, and I'll see you next time at the table.